That was a wonderful little thing.
Hopefully that gives us some ammo.
Indeed. In case you guys are fighting against that thing wherever you are. But for right now, we are moving on to the state of the Federation. No, I did not stutter. That is exactly what I meant to say. We are going over what's going on with the show. You might admit some people were kind of worried that we were off the air for 2 weeks, and for good reason, because this was also right after Tucker's kind of departure from the game. His going into hiding, his down lowing it, as it were.
He'll never fight again. He'll fight and he'll win. You'll see.
But yeah, so things are going to be changing around here a little bit. It was one of the things I've actually been considering for a while, even before we coerced Joseph into joining us on this wonderful little adventure. But for the longest time, there's always been. We all know that Star Trek Attack Wing is not a perfect game. If you think that, I'm very sorry for you. But it's definitely had its problems, no matter what side of all the debates you're on, whether it was the cloaking debate, whether it was the Worf debate, whether it was the rulings from Chris Guild debate, which, looking back at that, actually, Chris Guild did good rulings, he just didn't do them in a timely fashion. Worf is now doing not timely rulings in not a good fashion either. So actually, I feel we're worse off than when we had Chris Guild. I miss Chris.
Yeah, wow. Who thought we'd say that?
You thought I'd never say it, but I'm saying it. I still would have wanted to have more upgrades, though. But yes, there has been problems with the game, and it's a WizKids thing. We've had anyone who's played, Mage Knight or HeroClix or any of the other WizKids games, especially the ones that are now defunct, have some kind of horror story or another. So, I mean, it's part of the thing of being a big publisher and all there, whatever they're doing to experiment with, or whoever they're outsourcing to for certain parts of things. But it's not perfect. No one ever said it was going to be perfect, but sometimes it gets very discouraging. It's very hard to play a strategy game when the rules change fairly often. Like, a game is two people working under a set of certain restrictions and then pitting themselves up against each other under those restrictions. When it's no longer an easy way to understand what those restrictions are, then you don't really have a very enjoyable game anymore. It's like pulling teeth, getting a root canal. I haven't had a root canal yet, but I hear it's a very terrible, terrible subject. And so generally whatever's going on is that there's a lot of not as interesting things going on in Star Trek these days. There's been no update. There's been very few and far between updates from Worf. There's been no real announcements for the high level competitive events like regionals and worlds. And the last wave or two has been generally kind of disappointing. Like, nothing that really changes the landscape of the game, except for lure, which changed it so much they had to actually errata it. I think that was partially our responsibility, but hey, that's always a good thing to go for.
I'm glad they did it.
Well, it was kind of a necessary thing, or else you're going to have another big exodus of people like, that's ridiculous. That's not how this game is supposed to work. Why do we all need this ship now?
It's still amazing. It's still an amazing card.
Oh, yeah. It still is. But with all those factors combined, and also considering that we're down to just us two right now, like, it's easier for us to change our schedule up. So what's going to be happening with State of the Federation is that we are actually going to be dialing it back a bit. I was, as a particular person, was not really a big fan of doing full-on ship reviews for a half hour per ship. Like, sometimes it's necessary. There's cool cars that come out and stuff, but when we first started out, this was really a deep strategy show, and there's definitely strategy into evaluating each and every single one of the cards. But at this point, you have Trek Talking, you have Warp Core Breach, you have Battle Station, kind of, and you have Red Maneuvers. You have all of these different sources that you can go to and get and almost all of them do a full-on ship review. You've got True Flight Silverwing on and the Shipyard on YouTube, so there's a lot of places you can go for information about just the ships in general. So from now on, we're only going to be probably doing the most interesting cards out of ship reviews, the things that could potentially change, the landscape of the meta, as it were.
And hopefully doing things similar to what we just did.
Things that you're going to want to fight, things that you're going to fight against, or just tactics for dealing with bothersome, annoying things that are running rampant at high levels of play, and it's like, no, we need to get rid of this. Unfortunately, I don't know. We had this debate over at State of the Game where I think that it is still mostly the high-level ships are only 2 or 3 different kinds of builds, but some other people think there's a lot more variety in high builds that we can talk about. So we'll go over some of that. But no, Pinecone has it on the head. I have not said it yet, but we are not going to be doing once a week anymore. Right now, I think we're looking at closer to maybe once, maybe twice a month, especially depending on when regionals and worlds finally comes up. So once we get some of those things going on again, then we might do a couple extra episodes. But until then, we're gonna.
It's a PRN show now. It's as needed.
Mm-hmm.
If it warrants it, we will do State of the Federation 7 nights a week.
Well, I might do like 6 if you're on to, but I'm not giving up my Wednesday night game night, man. I need my games. It's the only chance I get to almost play Star Trek sometimes.
Well, if the people need it, we'll be there. Mm-hmm. That's our duty.
But yeah, especially now at this point, when we started, there were 2 guys that did anything Star Trek Attack Wing related, and that was me and Stormtrooper Steve. I still like Stormtrooper Steve. He shows up on the forums occasionally, but his YouTube has since not done as much Star Trek stuff anymore. But since then, Terry got really involved, and it seems like she stepped back a little bit. But we've also got those other 6 podcasts and review shows that I just mentioned, and I think there is enough Star Trek content out there that we can sit back a little bit and really focus on the more pressing things that we really want to get deeply into, instead of having to try to be the catch-all show anymore.
Which will be nice in some ways. So, comment section, Facebook us if there's stuff like the Scout or even very similar, dissimilar to that, but strategy related that you want us to talk about, let us know. Indeed. Also, thank you to all the guys. There have actually been a couple messages to the page and to my Facebook and YouTube, like, hey, if you guys are looking for a third host, I know a great guy with 2 thumbs, and it's me. But yeah, so when that comes up, we'll look around. If people are still interested, I'll try messaging some people and be like, hey, you want to be on the show? Come on and we're finally getting back to it 2 weeks from now or something like that. But in the meantime, I'm not sure what Joseph's doing. Are you going to be doing anything in particular, or just going back to playing normal games? Yeah, I mean, hopefully there's a little bit of a brief sign that the regionals are coming with that thing that we
the Salt Lake Comic-Con announcement.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be coming up sooner rather than later. But other than that, just the usual OPs. Yeah, that'll be my lot. And in the meantime, some of you know that the channel that we're broadcasting on now and my YouTube channel are actually my own personal channels, and I am a big strategy gamer. If you were around before the Star Trek Attack Wing stuff even started, I used to broadcast XCOM multiplayer because I'm a big strategy game fan. So I might actually be going back to some other kinds of strategy games that some people might be interested in. I know that not everyone's going to be
want to come by to watch some of this stuff, but you might see something new. And if you ever want to just kind of chat with me, I would be up for chat whenever I'm broadcasting. So, Tuesday nights when we're not having State of the Federation, and maybe sometimes on the weekends, you will find me doing some more strategy gaming content in other shapes and forms. And if you want to talk to me about Star Trek, then I'd be more than willing to take some tangents on there to talk about Star Trek with people. But other than that, yeah, working on just scaling back will also help me work on a couple of projects. I've actually gotten more than once. If you don't like the way WizKids is doing things with this game, why don't you just go and make your own? Well, I'm making my own, so
there you go.
It's kind of hilarious, but it takes some inspiration from Battle Station, which is a great little light spacefaring RPG kind of thing. So if you have a chance, go check them out. Trying to get an interview with their creator over their Kickstarter, which has been unfortunately a little delayed. But yeah, if anyone's interested in that, I will have links for everything on State of the Federation. Just in a comment somewhere. Also over on YouTube, on my channel, you'll be able to find some of those. So if anyone's interested in that particular project and wants to help me play test some of that, I would definitely be interested in getting that written up and sent out to people. Make Tribbles more powerful. I love Tribbles. Tribbles are pretty darn powerful as it is, Mr. Pinecone. But yeah, so little less State of the Federation, but hopefully a little more, strategy gaming in general. At least for me, and anyone else who wants to come along for the ride. And I get to give Joseph a couple days off. You wouldn't believe how hard I work. I work this man like a slave driver. He's like, "Where are you for this week's State of the Federation?"
I'm overworked.
What do you mean you're on vacation? Get back here. We got a show to do.
It'll give me more baseball viewing time.
Also, might give us a chance to try to convince Tucker to show up for maybe a show or two.
He'll be back. He'll be back. In England's greatest need, he'll return.
Uh-oh. Maybe we shouldn't give him a big head about that.
Well, that's the trick to it, though.
Yeah, so that is where we are and where we are where we are planning on going. I don't know if I have anything else to say about that. You got anything else to say about that? It is getting a little close to your time, I think, unless you don't have work today. I don't remember when you do work.
No, I'm off tonight, so I'm not in a rush. But
cool.
No, nor do I have much more to say about it. Other than please feel free to send comments, because any ideas on what you guys want to talk about is definitely what we're going to want to talk about. So,
what's the chance of seeing a show with you two and Tucker and David? I think your best chance at that might be if we are all still playing by the time the next Nationals rolls around.
Yep.
And if we can convince David to be like, David, play with us.
We'll be well. David could have us as guests. Have us as guests on his show. Why the heck would he do that?
I thought he wanted to have a show that was nice and peaceful and fun. We don't believe in fun around here. Hey guys, some of us think that playing the best we can against other people trying the hardest they can is fun, dang it. It's the basis of every shonen anime, darn it. Getting a rival.
You need that.
That's what I like to think about. But yeah.
Who's Speed Racer and who's Racer X? I'm not Racer X.
I don't know, maybe that's Peter.
Yeah, I guess so. Isn't Racer X better than Speed though?
No idea. I haven't watched that one.
Well,
I'm thinking more of like I'm the Goku and he's the Vegeta.
Now that's a rivalry.
Ah.
we were always threatening to rebrand as a Dragon Ball Z show.
Exactly.
This'll give us
And
something
Dragon
next.
Ball Z CCG has made a comeback. That's it, guys. No more State of the Federation. We're now doing State of the Dragon Balls. Tune
There's
in
a
next
Dragon
week.
Ball Z CCG.
Yes, there was a Dragon Ball CCG a while ago. It recently made a resurgence. I know like 3 or 4 people that play it at my store. It's kind of hilarious.
Is it any good? Well, how could it not be?
I know, right? But I actually have no idea. I don't actually know how to play the game.
The problem with that game is that I could become all that I've ever hated, and be the you must play faction pure, because if Piccolo's not good in that game, I will be angry and I will talk about it a lot. Piccolo's not as good as he should be. I'm going on the internet to talk about it.
Well, I will probably see my friend who plays that game tomorrow at game night. I will ask him about that for you. And if it works, we will both get one of those decks, and we will hammer it out like you and Tucker do in Doomtown during the World's events.
Excellent. Excellent.
And we'll have it all live for you here on State of the Grudge Match. Now we're just making all kinds of spin-offs. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for taking the time to listen. Hope we answered all of your questions you had for today. And any parting words for you, Joseph?
Good luck. I hope to see people at regionals, nationals, and maybe another Worlds if they have one, hopefully.
Indeed. So with that, we will see you in a few weeks. Keep your eye on the Facebook page for when that's going to happen. And until then, may Q be generous with your dice. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great one.
State of the Federation is a production of Will Sanchez, Tucker Kobe, and Joseph Bandu. We are not associated nor affiliated with WizKids NECA Games, and all opinions are our own except where otherwise expressly stated. All copyrights are copyright the respective rights holders.